Crowdfunded in 2014, Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn, serves as a warning to the consequences of taking a joke too far. With Delphine's 1995 original dubbed by many the worst game ever, and in more recent years bearing the brunt of some unflattering internet memes, the fact a sequel was commissioned more than a decade later remains one of the most head-scratching moments in gaming, alongside Bubsy's similarly dubious reboot. Once you get over the novelty factor, Shaq Fu's beat-em-up follow-up is just a dull slog. It's only really notable for its extremely dated humour, and even at a budget price tag, it's not worth your time. If you think the idea of basketball star Shaquille O'Neal getting another game is ludicrous, wait until you hear its story. Abandoned as a baby, Shaq is found in a Chinese village and raised there. Despite bullying due to his size, martial arts master Ye Ye trains him in the art of combat. But things are soon turned on their head, as his village is attacked, forcing Shaq to go on a journey consisting of self-discovery and knocking out dozens of dated stereotypes. Its clear tongue was firmly in cheek here, but the dull dialogue, unfunny jokes, and painful attempts at breaking the fourth wall all fall completely flat. It is as bland as it is crude, with references to masturbation, racist stereotypes, and fart jokes. If it was still the 90s, maybe this would have been passable. Much like the ditzy, Paris Hilton-esque models it parodies with glee, A Legend Reborn is a shallow and underwhelming beat-em-up, eschewing the 1v1 fighting of the original. Taking place across 6 stages, Shaq must simply knock out everything in sight, whether they're effeminate supporters of a rap artist, Scottish Nazis, or scumbag lawyers. Every level follows the same template, with skin-swapped versions of the same enemies. You get standard goons, projectile enemies, whip fetish fanaticists, and larger grunts. There are some attempts at variety, such as special power-ups which serve as light diversions, and a plethora of boss fights. But Shaq Fu becomes trite long before you beat its 4-hour story. Criminally, as is generally a prerequisite of the genre, there is no multiplayer.
The world had turned to shit. I hadn't seen this many unexplained deaths since the Clinton administration.
For those crazy enough to buy a physical copy of Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn, you are gifted with a treat. 2 extra levels are available, where you take the role of Dirty Barry, aka Barack Obama. Even from the initial cutscene, this slice of DLC is funnier than the majority of the base game. While its gameplay is quite similar, the ludicrous plot involving the former president attempting to stop the woeful propaganda of Kanye while taking on dozens of French goons, clones of the rap star, and dominatrix robots. Though sadly there's only 2 levels, the humour is on point and lacks the crude tone of Shaq's journey, while Barack's arsenal of attacks offer mindless fun, sans the drawn-out tedium of A Legend Reborn. It isn't worth seeking out the game just for this slice of extra content, but if you do try out Shaq Fu, be sure to give Barack Fu a fair shake as well. You won't regret it. In fairness, unlike its loathed predecessor, this Shaq Fu is not broken or fundamentally flawed, it's just very bland. Shaq comes with 2 simple attacks in the form of a punch combo and a kick, which, when used after starting a fist combo, will inflict a powerful 12-inch boot attack. Timing an attack right can also lead to a flashy, but pace-slowing counter. Most enemies require little strategy other than mashing, bar the occasional shielded foe or boss. Speaking of which, bosses don't add much to the game either, requiring very little technique and only proving tough in later stages when, like the worst boss archetypes, dozens of smaller foes spawn in on the action too. Shaq can also interact with the environment, including brandishing signposts as weapons, or rolling barrels and boulders at foes. These are predetermined spots though, and Shaq usually reverts back to bland beat-em-up action.
Please tell me I get to kick his ass.
It's on, Sasquatch!
Everything about A Legend Reborn's presentation is outdated. The visuals are below par, feeling more in line with an Xbox Arcade or PSN title. Characters, environments, and animations all have the bare minimum effort, and despite how weak it looks, the frame rate struggles in more crowded areas. It's just cheap. The sound is just as painful. The voice work ranges from Shaq's bland delivery to cringeworthy impersonations and painful accents. The action is repeatedly halted, so as each enemy type can throw out a lackluster joke, and with references to the likes of Braveheart, it's hardly current. The music is mostly nondescript, and the sound mixing is just all over the place. You can tell it was self-funded.
Why do you keep saying gold bond?
I get paid every time I say gold bond. Gold bond, gold bond, gold bond.
Yeah, focus!
Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn, goes about as well as making a game out of the punchline of a joke theoretically would. It does, technically, outdo its woeful predecessor, but that's like having teeth removed rather than your entire jaw being ripped open. Once the novelty of seeing a Shaq Fu sequel wears off, the gameplay is as basic as they come, the presentation is both dated and woeful, and the humour misfires badly. It's hard not to be curious about this one, but let's just say this is one joke not worth seeing through to the end.
Babyface must die. Gold bond.
No!